What up, YouTube, and welcome back to another English review here at Thomas Opent. Most of my regular viewers by now will know that every now and then I like to review in English, either because I think it's fun and I often find myself using a lot of vernacular. No, that's the wrong word. What's the right? There we go. I fucked that one up. Terminology. That's a nice one. That's a nice one. Terminology that works better in English. And sometimes I have these beers that I figure they're going to be fun for my non vernacular. Is that, help me out? Am I saying the wrong word there? Leave a comment if you will. Um, anyway, that I like to do some of these reviews in English because there's some beers that I think, my non-Dutch viewers would love to hear a little bit more about it. This is one of those beers. It's from Brouwerij Kees, or as a lot of my friends like to call it, Kees. It's Kees. It is their Maat Barrel Project 2104. It's a commemorative ale in collaboration with Hair of the Dog, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do it, because from what I gathered on Untapped, the recipe is the commemorative ale, or an old ale by Hair of the Dog, brewed by Kees in the Netherlands this time, and it's been barrel aged on Loch Lomond barrels for, I believe, 18 months. That's a long time. That is a very long time. I think it says here somewhere. I'm trying to figure it out. It doesn't say that it was, but it was barrel aged on Loch Lomond barrels for 18 months. Now that's a long time. So I'm a little bit hesitant about the fact that this was barrel aged for 18 months. It's 12.5% ABV. The hops are Cascade. The yeast is Nottingham. ABC is 95. The EBU is 34. The malts are Pils malt, smoked malt, Municher, Munchiner, that one, whatever. Peated, Crystal, and Black. So there's peated malt in here. I'm okay with that. I'm very okay with that. The only thing, like I said, I'm a little bit hesitant about the fact that this has been barrel aged for 18 months. That's a long time. That's a long time to barrel age a beer. I'm just a little bit worried that it's going to be incredibly overpowered by that barrel. It actually pours a little bit thinner than I thought it would, or 12.5% ABV. Then again, with the barrel aging, you can sometimes lose a little bit of body. I know that there's a lot of breweries that overbrew, that's the wrong word, but like they will make, if they want to brew a beer to be barrel aged, they will make it thicker in terms of body because you lose some of the density during aging. So you really have a very dark, murky looking beer here. I think for everybody who's seeing this, it'll probably look black on camera, but it is incredibly dark brown. It has that sort of like a black barley wine look almost to it. There's definitely some dark brown mahogany, oaky mahogany. I always fuck up my woods. Whatever. There's that sort of, that dark brown, half clear tinge there on the bottom. Head dissipated incredibly quickly. There's still a little bit of a foamy, soapy ring there, but when you talk about 12.5% ABV, you're talking about barrel aging. It's not that weird for a head to disappear very quickly. I'm already getting quite a lot of impressions in terms of the nose right now, so let's just dive into this and see what it has. Fun fact, by the way, after all of the beers that I've been reviewing lately, this is one of the beers that I've actually bought myself. I like that. I like being able to, first from Able, but I get a lot of beer sent to me. It's amazing. I love it. It's insane the amount of beer mails that I've been getting lately, and I love everybody who's been sending me stuff, both viewers, web shops, breweries, whatever. Thank you so very much. But it's also cool to just be able to say, I like this beer. I think I'm gonna like this beer. I'm intrigued by this beer. Curious about this beer. I want to review it. This is one of them. Let's just dive into that nose and see what we can get, right? So that's incredibly boozy. That is incredibly spirit forward. That is incredibly barrel forward. And barrel with mostly was this a wet barrel? Was this like a very wet barrel? Because there's definitely wet oak in there. It's a bit of a sharp thing going on. I'm not that familiar with Loch Lomond in terms of their single malts. So I have no idea if this was a very young single malt, if this was if the barrel, the cask was emptied with while the Scotch was still relatively young, because it has that sort of, from what I remember from my single malt days, this has a bit of a sharp, grainy edge to it, like that whiskey. It's a sharp, grainy note. Could be, I kind of want to say it could be the beer, but after 18 months of any, fresh, grainy note from that beer would have dissipated by now. This really has that sort of wet malt note from a grainy note from spirit, from single malt. I'm not disliking it, by the way. I will say it's a nice note, but right now I'm really not getting a lot of beer. I'm getting a lot of barrel, I'm getting a lot of spirit. I'm getting a lot of, I'm not saying so much alcohol burn or alcohol heat, but definitely booziness. Yeah, definitely like that wet oak thing. It's very difficult to get through more than that right now. So while I'm drinking this, the idea is that in a little bit I'm gonna do a live stream with a buddy, with Craig from Kent Beer Reviews. Should still be happening. I haven't heard anything from him yet, but I'm probably gonna finish this on camera on stream. So I'm reviewing it now, putting something over the glass to marzipan. There's a sort of, no, not marzipan. There's a confectionery, sugary, marzipan-y, but like not the good stuff, but sort of the cheap marzipan note under there. There's something in there that just, it has a bit of a green apple thing going on. There's a bit of a green apple thing going on. But like candied green apple? You know what I mean? Maybe that'll sort of dissipate after a little while. We'll just see what happens. But right now I'm getting a little bit of a green apple thing. But also not in a way that it's really. You know, I'd love to say more about the nose, but this is incredibly stunted right now because of that barrel. There's a lot of barrel going on. Little bit of a peaty note. There is that, we're getting a little bit of that malty backbone now, like that sort of smoky, what was it again? We had smoke malts, peated malts, so there's definitely a sort of a smoky, peated character thing going on. Not like a rauchbier, not like Schlenkela or anything like that, but there's definitely a bit of a smoky note, more like a smoked whiskey. I don't think Loch Lomond is a smoked whiskey. It's not a bad note. I'm enjoying it. This is going to be a long review, guys. I'm enjoying it. It's just right now it's incredibly overpowering. For my single malt days, I love these kind of notes. This what I'm smelling right now is perfect. I love it, but it's kind of, I'm not getting a lot of beer at the moment, although I like the way it smells. So let's just dive in and see what we can get in terms of flavor, palate, taste, and all that kind of shite. Right? Cheers. That's interesting. That's fun. That's kind of cool. That's kind of not bad. So it's kind of going all over the place. I'm getting the old ale, commemorative ale aspect of this. It's definitely not too shabby, but it's weird. It's very spirit forward. It's very barrel forward. Still getting that wet oak. It's not very dry. It's definitely sort of like a wet oak. The body, by the way, the mouthfeel is, I'm not going to say it's thin or weak or watery, but I'd expected a little bit more oomph in terms of, almost chewability of that beer, where you kind of expect at 12.5% ABV to have a little bit more oomph to that body. Now, except for that spirit thing, there's definitely like that soft, smoky, more towards a peated kind of thing going on. It's got a nice malty backbone. You get that, figgy datey, dried raisin thing going on. Again, with the sort of marzipan nuttiness thing, definitely sort of like a marzipan nuttiness thing, almost like a dry roasted coconut. Like a dry, maybe that's more, I'm saying marzipan? No. That's it. It's sort of like a dry roasted coconut thing. That's what I'm getting. I'm not disliking it. I'm enjoying it, but I have difficulties finding that beer here. With the dark color that it has, I'd expected a little bit more of a roast note to it, which I'm not getting right now. A bit of a licorice, soy sauce, umami vibe there. Definitely a bit of a savory note to it. It's got a bit of a beef stock, almost like towards beef stock. Not that savory, but it has that note. It's going towards that. This has been canned. I think it was canned. Where did I see it? Where did I found something here on the? I'm trying to figure this out when it was canned. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, this was canned about a month ago, I think. Where's the damn Best Buy date? No, is it older? Is it a bit older than that? This could use a little bit of time, though. This could use a little bit of time. I wouldn't have minded. I actually really would have liked to have had this. Okay, so this is, I'm going to be an asshole. I like drinking it right now. I also wish they had some either, so several options, 37.5 centiliter bottles and 750s. I would have loved a few of those. So the 37.5s will age a little bit quicker. The other ones would be great for aging for a longer time, and just see what happens after, several years. Give this a little bit of age. Get that sharpness out of it. Get that barrel present a little bit lower with the age. I think in a couple of years this would be a great beer. It's a good beer right now. I like it. It's very enjoyable. It is tasty AF. It's just so spirit forward, so barrel forward, so incredibly Loch Lomond, which I don't even remember ever having as a single malt back in the day. Which is not, by the way, a testimony to the amount of drinks I've had or that I drank so much that I forgot. That's kind of true still, but I'm saying is this, there's so many single malts out there. Like with beers, you can't have all of them. And I don't know what kind of flavor profile Loch Lomond has. I just know that this is incredibly spirit forward. And right now, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody gave me, after tasting this, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody gave me a glass of Loch Lomond. It's like, can you pick this distillery in a blind nosing? I would say that's Loch Lomond because I now know what it tastes like because of this beer. It's tasty. It's tasty. It's delicious, but the barrel is just so incredibly, that coconut marzipan thing is nice. I like it. It's tasty. I'm not going to have any issues finishing this in that live stream, but it's a bit overpowering. This needs a little bit of age. And basically that's it for this review. If you liked it, click that like button. If you really liked it, hit that subscribe button. Oh no, what are you supposed to say? Like, smash that subscribe. I fucking hate that. Smash that subscribe button. Fucking bullshit, whatever. It would be very nice if you were to subscribe to my channel. And leave some comments if you had this beer. What did you think? What are your impressions? For my non-Dutch viewers, it'll probably be a bit difficult to do that. But for my Dutch viewers, I would love to hear what you thought about this beer. And that's it. And I'll see all of you guys in another review soon. Until then, cheers.